Hello. I'm back with another message for you. So, what I'm hearing is like a lot of you're going to help a lot of people. Maybe you're already doing this, you're already in your calling, in your life purpose, but you're going to be the hope for a lot of people, the light, beacon, because here I have the Most High, Psalm 97:9, the Creator, our Creator, God, Source, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He sets the trend. Look at the pathway, look at the elevation. So, a lot of you are called, you're in your calling, you're in your purpose right now. And yes, it's like you are going up this stairway. It's like it's life. As you go along your path, there are a lot of people you're going to impact their life in a positive way because of who you are, because of what you have gone through, and because of the messages that divine wants you to impart in the lives of people as you go along your way. And I have Apostle Simon Peter, very passionate. He was very outspoken, sometimes impulsive, but he was somebody who he stood up for what he believed in. And we can say a lot about Peter, but again, when the others want to sit it out, he was brave. He was the first and only one to say, I want to walk on water. When Jesus says, who does men say that I am? You know, he was used by God to say that Jesus is the Son of God. He said, Peter, it must be my Father who told you that because nobody else knows. Yes, he betrayed Jesus 3 times, but before we judge him, of all the disciples, he was the only one who followed Jesus the furthest. And I guess flesh and fear came in over him, and he gave in. But the beauty about it is that he was willing to repent. He asked for forgiveness, and Jesus forgave him. Let me tell you, after Jesus returned to heaven, Peter was a spiritual body. Let me tell you, he did not play about the mission and the calling on his life, because he's like, I failed Jesus too many times and I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do it again. He stood on his purpose. He understood his mission. He had no doubt about his calling because Jesus told him he would betray him. That came to pass. Jesus told them he was going to raise from the dead in 3 days. They didn't believe. They probably thought, they were skeptic, and it happened. So when he saw all of this, he was sold 100% as to his faith and the Most High, who the Most High is in his life. So a lot of you, yes, it's not how we start, it's how we finish. It may have been rocky, it may have been bumpy, but it's like you never lost sight of who is in charge, who is in control of your life. There are situations in life that made it a little bumpy, where sometimes it's like it makes you question certain things. But at the end of the day, you know where your help comes from. Who is the source of your life? And like with Esther here, 32, that's 5, change. Esther, brave, very courageous woman, very influential woman. She had influence. Like a lot of you, some of you, and you don't have to have a platform to have influence. In your community, in your neighborhood, where you do business, where you do life. People probably admire you for what you stand for your faith, the things that you have gone through, and you stood brave, courageous in the face of adversity, of challenges. When life knocked you down 9 times, you got up back 10. Esther, just in time. I mean, she didn't have any parents. She grew up with her uncle. And God placed her in a position very young age. But she was the one in the end who spoke up and saved her people. So a lot of you, like I said, it's not about how we start, it's about how we finish. To be the man, the woman that you're called to be. And with Most High, to clarify that here, it's Jesus. Miracles, blessing, good news. You are called to share the good news, to be the testimony, an ambassador, a representative. A lot of you, a lot of us, we're a lineage of Jesus. We are his brothers, we are his sisters. He's Jesus, he's God. He says, no man cometh to the Father but through him. He's at the right hand of God interceding for us. When the scribes and the Pharisees and the Sadducees and all of those diseases were here just talking, he came to show us how it's done. He's a man who is about it. He doesn't just talk about it, but he be about it. Miracles, blessings, good news, restored faith to humanity. And with Zacchaeus, number 8, wealth, generosity, philanthropy, infinite blessings and abundance. So a lot of you, you're going to be blessed. And again, when you look at these, Simon, Esther, Zacchaeus, I mean, Esther, she was young, but she doesn't have a lot of baggages. But it's just that she was willing to stand up, very brave, very courageous. She had a lot of competition as well, because in order to have King, call him Xerxes, there were a lot of other females who were like her ops. Everybody was competing to be the queen. And this is the thing, what God has for us, it's for us. It doesn't matter how many. When God has something for you, no man can take it away. And this is the confidence as well that I would like for you, for us to have, is that what God has in store for us, it is signed, it is sealed. If it passes, then that means it was not meant for us. Nobody can take what God has for us. And Zacchaeus, he was a tax collector. He was not loved by people. He was very short too, and he heard that Jesus was passing by, and he climbed this tree because he wanted to see Jesus. And the beauty about it is that even though he was up in the tree, when Jesus walked, he stopped under the tree and he looked up. He knew that this man, even though he was hated and maybe for what he was doing, people looked at him some kind of way, yet still Jesus could not pass him by. He has a purpose. Jesus told him to come down. It's like, today we're gonna have meal at your house. And the people, oh, they did not like Jesus for that either, because how dare him go to eat with this tax collector. People are gonna look at you some kind of way for whatever kind of reason for what you're doing. But the beauty about it is that once Jesus picked you, I mean, Jesus knew his name. He called him by his name. So a lot of us, people are going to want to remind you or others about your flawed past and your mistakes. But Jesus knows you by your name. It's like, I was thinking the other evening, I was just replaying some stuff in my mind. And I remember my parents, they told me when I was born, my name was Christine. That's the name they picked for me. But because I was a sickly child, they were told by a spiritualist, a healer, that that name is like, it was not appropriate for me. And so he changed my name to, he told them to give me this name. And it's so funny because growing up, I used to, I think I shared it before, he was a healer. And people would bring, for those who could not make the trip because they were so sick, they would bring a clothing. And this is why, like I said, a lot of people, when they steal your clothes, they know what they're doing because your energy is in it. You know, but they would bring a piece of their clothing for those who could physically walk, because I lived on a hill and he lived above me, so it was way up. And they would bring a clothes, or the person would come, and if I was home, he would call me, and he would tell me where in the Bible to read for that person, because he could not read. And I would read it, but then if I made a mistake, he would correct me. And as a little girl, I was so mesmerized by that. And he would tell me, he has like a pencil and a piece of paper, and he would tell me what herbs, you know, if they need to, what bush they need to boil for the person, and how many times they should drink it per day, and, you know, garlic and cloves, these things. And this is just so amazing how life turns around. You know, how it's like, wow. But back then, people did not look at what he was doing as being evil. He was a healer. He wasn't doing, just like how a lot of us who are in the light, we're not doing anything messy. But people may tend to distort that. And I was just reminiscing how things come around full circle. Like, who knew that I would be doing this in this field as a healer myself? And I thought about the spelling of my name, Christine, Christ. Christ is in it. And then the name I have now. Do you know my name? Besides Divine Destiny Guide. Maybe some of you do, because you're undercover watching. I have trolls too. But, you know, and I think I introduced myself by another channel too. Maybe some of you who from day one, you probably know my real name. But then when I search the name I have now, it also says the face of Jesus, because, and why it says that is that when Jesus was going to the cross, they said that a woman was there, and she gave him her handkerchief to wipe his face. And then when he gave it back to her and she opened it, his face was imprinted on the handkerchief. And I thought, wow. And maybe some of you, you're called to research your name. You know, some people have wonderful names too, but they don't live up to it. They are the opposite of it. So I guess many are called, few are chosen, but the choice is for all of us, right? But it's just so amazing how things come full circle. But what I'm going back to is that Jesus knows your name. So it doesn't matter what people on the outside call you, it's about what Jesus calls you, how he knows you. He knows who you are. And he knows if you're messed up or not. But like Peter, you did the healing, you did the work. All the things that were supposed to hold you back, were supposed to keep you down, that people thought you should sit out of the race because you have too many flaws. Yet still you're perfect in divine. A lot of you, a lot of us, we don't even know it, but we have angels unawares that we don't even know, who are providing for us security and safety and support as we are on our journey. God takes care of his own. See, a lot of people, they were very judgmental, self-righteous, and hypocritical, who came up against Jesus, the Most High. Like I say, a lot of these were Pharisees, Sadducees. They were just well dressed in the temple, criticizing people, looking down with scorn on those who did not have. And Jesus came to show them. Jesus did not fall in line with them, so they did not like him. They thought he was a rebel. They thought that he blasphemed because he's saying he's God, or the Son of God, the Son of Man. Even though he was telling them things that they have in the scroll. But again, it could have been their ego. For a lot of these people, they were insecure, so they were threatened by him, was stoned many times, but they couldn't stop him. So it is for a lot of you, a lot of us. You have a calling on your life. You have a purpose. You're going to heal a lot of people. You're going to minister to a lot of people. But you're going to have those few who are judgmental, who are self-righteous, who are hypocritical, who wants to come up to challenge you and who you are and what you stand for, and to remind you of who you were in the past. But the beauty about it is that the Most High, Jesus, divine, knows who you are. And not only that, he knows you by name and he accepts you. Able, yeah, sacrifice, selflessness, faithfulness. So for a lot of you, it's about being faithful, giving God your best. Number 4, it's about security, it's about stability. When we give God the best, I'm telling you, we cannot outgive divine. You cannot outgive God. Put in your best foot forward. And look, the Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And for those of you who know the story, they refused to bend, to bow, to surrender. Their faith, their perseverance, and because they stood, they refused to bow to a false god. And the king ordered that they should be thrown into the fiery furnace. He wanted them to turn the heat up. How many times hotter than it was? And then only to look to see 4 men in the fire. They were not hurt. They were just there walking around. So you see, when you stand for what God says, he will provide wealth for you, stability. You will be able to give back to the less fortunate. And you're protected even in the fire. I think I made a video, I think, was it earlier this year, about there's another in the fire standing next to me, based on that song. There's another in the water holding back the sea. God protects us, He takes care of us. It's like if a person dies doing the will of God, that's the way they were meant to go. But nobody can let us go before God's mission is completed and fulfilled in our life. Even the Pharisees and all of them, they could not take him out before his time. They did not take away his life. He laid it down. The song said he could have called 1,000 angels to destroy the world, or 10,000 angels to destroy the world and set him free. But he laid down his life humbly for us. And like these men, flawed men and women, because for a while there, Esther, her uncle, had to come down on her. Like, don't think you're safe because you're in the palace. You're one of us. And this other guy put a bounty out that all of us should go. So if this law comes into pass, if your husband, the king, signs this law, not knowing that you are one of us, you're going to go down too. And she fasted and she prayed with her uncle like he asked her to. And surely enough, she was able to save her people. A lot of you, a lot of us, we have a calling on our life to go out, to be an ambassador, to speak life. The Most High is ahead of us. And if God is for us, who can be against us? It's already done. And this is what you need to know. This is what you need to believe. That what God has for you, it's for you, it's for us, and it's already done. It's already done. It's already done. You're called to cut out toxic people from your life. Get anybody who is toxic out of your life in order to go into your mission and your purpose here. Do not settle. Don't settle. You deserve the best and nothing less. And be grateful for who you are and what you have as well. Be grateful. And just know you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. You know, with this transformation, growth, awakening, change, surrender, overcoming all the obstacles. I mean, transformation, that's death and resurrection. That's what Jesus did. That's like the butterfly. When somebody baptized, that's what that is too. That's transformation. Because when you go under the water, that represents the death. When you're taken out, that's life. That's life. You're born anew. That's a rebirth. Yeah, be authentic. Be true to yourself, your identity. Be open-minded to your calling and who you are. And when you stand in your truth, it's like Zacchaeus know that he was a short man. So he was true to himself. So what did he do? He climbed a tree so he can get the best view. Embrace what you have. Work with what you have. Don't compare. Don't compete with other people. Because you have a sacred connection with divine, a union, a partnership. And this is why you have angels they're guiding us, protecting us on the highways, the byways, whether we know it or not. He's taking care of us because we're in a relationship. We're partnering with divine intuition over the Pharisees. Never doubt your intuition. Never doubt when God is speaking to you, those nudges. How do you feel when you're in the company of some people? Because if not, this is how a lot of us got hurt, got played in the first place, because we ignored those nudges, right? And it's like moving forward, we're not going to fall for it. We're not going to fall for it because now you're healed or you're healing. And again, we're continuously healing, right? So you're a shaman, you're called into your purpose. You know, you're called because you've been faithful. You've gone through a lot. It's like been sacrificed. You've gone through a lot. You've been selfless. You have a calling on your life. Medicine man, you're a medicine woman. Sacred. Wow. Endings with the Hebrew boys. Endings. The Hebrew boys. The king wanted to end them. Not realizing endings means what? New beginnings. He wanted death to them. But now is like an initiation, a baptism, a new perspective, new beginnings, a new cycle of life. Because I'm sure when they came out, their life was forever changed, transformed, faith renewed. Oh my God, destiny. Destiny. I'm telling you, you have a purpose. It is fated. You have a spiritual calling on your life. You're spiritually gifted to embark on this journey. Yes, with the Most High. But you need to cut out toxic people. Some of you have. Yeah. It's like, don't settle, with your imagination, with your creativity. You're an inspiration. You're a great manifester. It's like the world is your footstool. So don't settle. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Don't settle for mediocrity, for society's standard. You're a child. You're a son, you're a daughter of the Most High God. Look, manifestation. It says, be grateful for who you are and what you have. You are a manifester. You are the greatest magician of all times. Blessings, luck, creation, turning dreams into reality. Heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. Thy will be done here as it is in heaven. You're not going to die before you have milk and honey. Especially when you're in the calling of God, when you're in the will of God, when you're here for a destined purpose and a path, and you surrender to God's will and His way. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah, it's like the everything is within reach. It's in grasp. It's like you can have whatever you like because you're somebody too who could be very grateful. You're thankful for everything that God has done and what He's doing in your life. At the back here, detox, and we know, releasing any unhealthy patterns, toxic habits and all of that. Some of you have done that. For some of you, you are doing that at this time. And yes, keep going. Keep going because you have a calling and a purpose on your life. I'm loving it for you and I'm loving it for you, for us. Yeah. Emotional intelligence, understanding and managing one's own emotions and empathizing with others. So a lot of you, you're healers, you're light workers, you're empaths. You're emotionally intelligent as well. So you're balanced in your emotions. So with your cups, wow. And we have here generosity. engaging in acts of kindness and generosity toward others. And we saw that Zacchaeus card the with you being a philanthropy, being able to give back. So because you've been so grateful, God is gonna cause you to have so much that you're gonna be able to give back, because He can trust you. And you trust your intuition as well. So you're not gonna let people play you to take things from you. Like in the past, people were able to use you, trick you, and all of that. No, 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 no. This is why we had to go through those lessons, so that when we get to those other levels in life, you're seasoned, you're emotionally intelligent. Now, people can't play with you. It's like I'm seeing a king or queen of swords. I'm seeing a king or queens of cups here. People can't easily manipulate you anymore. Yeah, your adaptability, being open to change and embracing new experiences. Absolutely. Endings bring new beginnings. You're able to adapt to life. You're flexible. You embrace. Not that it didn't hurt. You know, when life hands you lemon, you use it and make lemonade. The mess is now your beautiful message. The pain is your purpose. And because of that, you're going to profit from that. Because you adapt to life and you forgave others. And again, the gratitude card. And you were optimistic. You maintain a positive outlook, even in challenging situations. Wow. And yes, positive relationships, cultivating and nurturing meaningful connections with others. So you're going to meet your soul tribe. Look, purpose.